Right, this is a video for a Honda Accord. This is the 2.4 EX version, manual car. 2009 new shape, fitted with the optional Delta alloy upgrade. The car's covered 65,000 miles. It's had just 2 private owners from new and comes with a full Honda service history, which I'll go through later in the video for you. The car's in absolutely superb condition. I'll just go around the car for you. The EX version, so it's got the front and rear parking sensors plus parking camera. The bonnet is amazingly free of stone chips. You have to look very hard to find anything there. Likewise, bumper is in really nice order, no scuffs or chipping on there at all, and all the lenses are in very good condition. Offside front wing, there's no marks there whatsoever. Alloy itself, all the alloys are very good, but they're not perfect. There's a few marks on them. Tyre there, we've got absolutely tons and tons of tread. Panel work down this offside, I can't find any marks on there at all. It really is absolutely crisp as you'd expect it, you could ever see. Rear tyres, again, got absolutely tons and tons of tread on it. Coming down the flank, just show you just how crisp that is. There's no car parking dinks or dents at all on there. Around the back of the car, the rear bumper showing no marks whatsoever. Just come down the near side flank as well, and you can see there, again, just as crisp as the other side. Rear tyre, again, virtually like new on there. All the panel work down the side is really nice. So overall, the exterior of the car is in really good condition. Coming into the boot area of the car, there's an enormous boot on the vehicle. You've got a 60/40 fold on the rear seats there, and you've got these little tabs up on the high level there, just to show you how you release those. Up there is the DVD driver for the sat-nav system. Underneath here we've got all the tools, inflation kit, inflation gunk as well to put into the tyres, and the full set of lock and wheel nut key, lock and wheel nuts as well there. Coming into the back of the car, rear offside door card is in absolutely superb condition. There's no marks, no wear on there whatsoever. Back of the seats are incredibly good, given that rear passengers can sort of drag their feet in the back of these things. All the plastics are in top condition there, and likewise back of the driver's seat as well is superb. I'll go to the door card on the near side in a second for you, but it is like the other one. If I'll just scroll over there now, it's absolutely superb. There's no marks there whatsoever. Leatherwork on the rear seats is absolutely perfect. There's no marks, skags, cigarette burns or otherwise on there. It is absolutely superb, and it just hardly looks like anyone's ever sat in the back seat at all. Now going to the front of the car here, driver's door card is in wonderful condition. Again, no marks or otherwise on there. Quality of the plastics on these Accords is very high indeed. Sill area, absolutely perfect. There is a full set of Honda mats to be fitted into the car as well, which came with the car. Obviously you've got electric driver's seat there, it's got memory on the door card as well, so you can memorise your seat position for two people. But the leatherwork is absolutely perfect. You will not fault the leatherwork in the car whatsoever. Likewise, passenger seat, absolutely superb. So EX version, you get an electric sunroof on these, and that's a tilt and slide affair, so just tilt it up and close, and then you can slide it back as well on the one-shot facility. It all works perfectly. So inside the car now with the engine running, all the plastics in here are in absolutely superb condition. Obviously the black and silver trim looks really good on the car. Center console here is really nice and simple and easy to use. You got a 6 stack multi-CD, got the dual zone climate control. It's all fully functional. Really lovely slick 6-speed gearbox and heated seats. Got front and rear, low and high on those. And it all works absolutely perfectly in the car. I've driven this car, so I know how well this thing drives. Big screen sat-nav system, really clear and easy to use. Pop the car into reverse there. You see, got a crystal clear rear parking camera as well. Just scroll across here now. Got the multifunction steering wheel, which has got controls for the audio system, cruise control system, information display system on the middle there, and also the hands-free telephone system on the car. And then behind those you've got voice activation for secondary functions as well. You've got auto lights, auto wipers on EX spec, and just going in there you can see the engine is running with a rev counter. There's no warning lights whatsoever on the vehicle, and the current recorded mileage is 65,301 miles. Just to show you there, got electric wing mirrors as well, and they work absolutely perfectly as you'd expect. But the interior of the car is in wonderful condition. It really is. It's as close to new condition as you'll ever see a used car be. The build quality of these things is astonishingly good. So I come down to the engine bay now. Beautifully presented engine bay from Honda. This is the 2.4 VTEC engine. It's a really brilliant engine. So much gutsier than the 2-litre version. Obviously it's a big heavy car. Whereas the 2 litres you have to rev quite hard. 2.4s you just swan along serenely. And in real world driving you actually get that better fuel economy. And I've had a few of these cars that have 2.4s and 2 litres. And the 2.4 is by country mile range of choice on them. Cam chain driven, so there's no cam belts to change. And we've had these engines back in previous generation Fords with over 250,000 miles and still running strong. It's a brilliant unit. Right, so just going to go through the ownership and the service history of the car. The car's had just the 2 private owners from new, so you can see there just the 1 former keeper. Also, we've got a full dossier of previous bills, receipts, service receipts and MOTs on there. It's absolutely filled up with those. It's lovely documentation to support the service book as well. And the service book I'll come to here. Bear with me while I get to the page. So, sorry, just rummage around in a second, I'll get there. Bear with me. So, service book, we've got obviously pre-delivery inspection. We've got services 1, 2 at Honda, 3, 4 at Honda, 5, 6 at Honda, and then the last one done at Honda as well. So it's got a lovely service history. We'll be servicing the car before it leaves us and giving it a full pre-delivery inspection as well. Right, there's a video for a Honda Accord registered YN09PVW. It's a Honda Accord 2.4 EX, manual car. Current mileage on the car is 65,324 miles. This is a road test vehicle just to show how the car drives, and supplements a walk around video that's already available for the vehicle, which gives the full description of the car, service history and specification of the vehicle. What I try and do in these videos is just to show that if there's any issues with the car, I can explain what they may or may not be. I try and drive all the cars home that we buy to do these kinds of videos, just to give a bit of reassurance for those coming, especially those coming a long way to us, because we sell from all over the country, near continents now. This could be quite a short video in some ways, because having driven the car last night, I simply cannot fault the car in any way. And for those expecting me to say that, well, that's fine. The reality is I cannot feel any wear in the drive of the vehicle whatsoever. The engine is typically Honda. It's a superb engine, but there's no noises, There's no issues at all with the engine, not that there ever really are. The gearbox is fantastic. It's a really lovely gear change. It's got really nicely done synchromesh. It engages absolutely perfectly. There's just no slop in the gear linkage whatsoever. Attached to that is a really slick positive clutch, which just feels like a new one. It's incredible, really. The brakes are rock solid. You can't feel any vibration under the braking, regardless of what speed you're doing. They feel incredibly solid. Bear with me a second. With the whole car, it's been very, very well looked after. It's got a beautiful service history, which is, possibly why the car drives as well as it does. It's just had the 2 owners from new, both private people as well, so it's not been any sort of big fleets being hammered around the place. But the whole car's got a the hewn from solid thing is kind of overused, but it is incredible. It's a brilliantly built car. It does feel it's hard to believe it's not new. That's the feel you get from the car, from the way the plastics look inside the vehicle, the whole trim, the seats. When you hold onto the steering wheel and just move it for the first time you drive the car, you just know it's a solid car. The 2.4 engine has always been a long favourite of mine. The Accord's not a small car, so when driving along, the 2-litre engine that they use in them is another great Honda engine, but obviously it's a big car, so you have to work the engine quite hard. It still performs very well, it still gives very good economy, but this just gives a much more relaxed drive than the 2-litre, in my personal opinion, especially for those doing sort of longer trips or up and down hills or along A roads. Basically I'm in 5th gear now at 40 miles an hour, entering a national speed limit, and I've just touched the throttle and it just goes. It digs deep and pulls straight up to 60 there without even trying, and that's low down the rev range relatively, so it's got a lot of low down grunt. And compared to modern turbo engines, it's just got the most beautiful soundtrack to the engine as well. It's a real rever if you want it to be. So its alter ego is a kind of a sports sedan, as they like to call them, or sports saloon. But the chassis as well is fantastic. It corners incredibly flat. And what's really lovely about it is just the precision of the steering. As soon as you turn the steering wheel and aim for something, like an apex of a corner, it goes straight to it. There's very good body control once you turn the steering in. It doesn't pitch and wallow and change its trajectory. It just stays pointing at where you really want the car to go. I've driven a couple of these, bizarrely enough, on a race circuit, and it's an amazing car, even at very high speeds. As I say, this gear change is really lovely. It's just relatively short in the throw, but it's just the precision between the gears. It's really nice. I think the things we're all concerned about when we're going to see a car with the intention of buying one is just, if I get there, if I'm going to drive, 10 minutes down the road or 5 hours down the road, am I going to be disappointed in the car, in the drive of the car? Well, I can't change what the car is. It is what Honda made, and to most people that's brilliant. So if you've done your homework, you'll be coming down to look at a car and hopefully test drive a vehicle which is a known quantity to you. The unknown is, who's selling the car, and also what the car drives like, that particular example. I can assure you two things. One, that the car drives exactly as it should. Look at that idiot, there we go. Honestly, every day, saw him coming miles back. There we are. So yeah, it drives, you could not fault the car. It drives exactly as it should, and I couldn't separate this one from a new one in terms of the way the car drives, so that, there can be no issue with that whatsoever. Both myself and my business partner Tony spent years working in the Honda main dealers, which is why we have become Honda specialists over the years. First and foremost, they give us very, very, very few problems, so it makes our lives an awful lot easier. It means we can give the kind of customer support we want to give, but hopefully our knowledge of Honda and our current relationship with the Honda dealership means that, if there are any issues, as rare as they may be, we can tap into a mine of information straight away and minimise any inconvenience to people. But I've never had an issue with an Accord of this type or age, so it's an unlikely event, but it's just to give you a bit of security and peace of mind. It's worth pointing out that basically every function I've used on the car works exactly as it's meant to. There's not a button I press that doesn't work. Obviously electric seats, heated seats, all works really nicely. There's no warning lights on the dashboard whatsoever, apart from a fuel light on at the moment, just to say the fuel's low. But just sort of sat in the front now, that look around the car and trying to find something to kind of talk about in terms of an issue that to raise to a customer. There is nothing. There's nothing at all. So it's great. I do like about the style of the dashboard on the Hondas. Again, it's a nice simple design, but it's a beautifully built dashboard. But the sat-nav system in front has got a really big screen, but it is mounted nice and high up. It's also got a nice shroud over the top, so it does shield it from the worst of the glare from the sun, even sort of early morning or late evening. You hardly ever gets in a position where you can't see the screen properly. What's really good about the Hondas is you get a quality of engineering that, in the real world event of running cars when they're 6-7 years old and fit the budget that most of us can afford, it gives you a peace of mind that virtually no other manufacturer apart from maybe Toyota can really offer. They're incredibly durable. The engine, as I said, there's no vibration. It just feels like a 6-cylinder engine. It's got an unbelievable level of refinement. But compared to so-called prestige marques that they're great cars to drive. There's no denying it. But they're not any better than this, and they cost a fortune to run by comparison, with issues which are well known. And a like-for-like BMW or Mercedes or Audi compared to a car like this, to get this level of specification, which is all standard on the car, would cost a relative fortune, but would then still cost a lot more in terms of ownership of the car, in terms of how much it costs to run the vehicle, not just with maintenance but with the issues that they bring up from time to time. Most of our owners will have these, run them for huge mileages without ever really having to dip their hand in their pocket for other than normal wear and tear bits like tyres and bulbs and batteries, that kind of thing. But when it comes to sort of mechanical problems, they're all but unheard of on the cars. Coming towards the end of the video now, so I hope it's been helpful to you. But if you've got any questions about things I haven't raised in the video, please do feel free to call us. What I will do just before we come to an end, I'm just going to sort of slow down in second gear, just put my foot down, just so the engine kind of sings round, because it is a lovely engine. I don't know whether the microphone will pick it up properly. I'll make sure I do it in a nice safe place. I'm just going to slow down now. That is quite the most fantastic engine. It really, really, really pulls hard. I said I don't want to do anything antisocial, so I'm not going to go fast where I shouldn't be, but no, it's wonderful.